Hey, Scott here from Cowboy Thunder Woodworking. I just got the Shark HD644 out of the box. This is an upgrade from the 544, and I thought I would do a setup video because there's not one on YouTube to help anyone else that might need that kind of help. So I'll get started here in a second. And so the first thing I would say is, obviously you got to build your workbench. And so what I ended up doing was I built this 70-inch by 70-inch tank where I have two shelves underneath. I used 4x4s and then these metal brackets and like 6-inch screws. And then I also put these leveling feet, if you can see those. And they're really heavy duty. I think they go up to 1,000 pounds, so that if I needed to make any micro adjustments, I could. Because level is important. Let's see, I'm trying to find the best vantage point. Maybe like this for starters. So this is the controller, and this is the pendant, the new upgraded pendant. And obviously the Y1 and the Y2 rails with the X-axis and then the Z-axis, which goes up and down. So I'll put this controller on this shelf and I raise it up so that I get it to as high as possible, just to give my cords the maximum length as possible. So here we go. This is the arm for the pendant. It just got a little twist knob right there. Put these brackets on, then your pendant just slides down on like that. And this little screw keeps it in place. There you go. And you can adjust it however you want, up, down, and whatnot. And then the first thing you do is you put these little L brackets on to the Y-axis with the inserts there, and then you'll attach that to your table. So same thing on both sides. And then I just put them to the front edge of my table. And then on the left-hand side, you want about 5 inches of clearance from the inside out so that you have enough room for the drive chain. The other side, I think I've got about 2 inches of clearance. So next step, I took a punch and just punched in the center of those holes to make a little indentation. You can kind of barely see there. And I'll take a 5/16 drill bit and I'll drill the holes out for the threaded inserts. I like to work my way up in the drill bit size just to hopefully avoid any mistakes. So then I'll take these threaded inserts. The ones that come in the kit are zinc. I would recommend getting steel, which I happen to have, so I'm going to go get those. And so these steel ones are just much stronger, obviously, than zinc. I've noticed the zinc will sometimes strip out. And I got this off of Instagram, this little mini ratchet where you can get into tight spots. Like, I would not use a impact or drill. It's just too much power, and you run the risk of getting crooked, stripping, and other concerns. I won't show you all 8 of these because that would be boring, I think. And then I take the bolts and put them in. And the instructions say do the left-hand side, your Y1 first. Do the threaded inserts for all of it, but then bolt down the left-hand side, the Y1, not the Y2 yet, because you'll have to make some, adjustments. And for something else I want to mention, it's probably a good idea to test your insert before you insert it, because sometimes you'll just get a bad insert and then the screw won't go all the way in. These are called Rampa, R-A-M-P-A. They're from Germany. You can get them off Amazon, and like I said, they're solid steel, which is really nice. I'm just gonna pick this back up, put it back in place, take my nifty little ratchet here, and I'm not gonna tighten anything down all the way, just because you're almost always gonna have to make some kind of, adjustment. And again, just want to make sure on the left-hand side, you're 5 inches of clearance for your drive chain. And to get up under these front motors, you may have to just get a traditional, short wrench so you can get the clearance you need. So now I've got the left-hand side Y1 secured on the front and on the back. Then on the right-hand side, I've got the front loosely secured with the back right not secured. I've already put the threaded inserts in, but I'm going to wait to bolt it down until I know I'm fully aligned. Now, the gantry, the middle bar that goes from left to right? It's awful heavy. You can do this all by yourself, except for that one component. You're going to need 2 people to lift that up and set it on top of these 2 black boxes on the left and the right. Don't try it yourself. It is heavy, heavy, heavy. Next, you're going to take 8 of these bolts with lock nut and put 4 on each the left and the right side of this component. Also on the sides here, the left and the right side, you're going to have to lift this up just a few millimeters so that you can get the bolt to feed through the hole. Once you get one in, you're good. Okay, so I've got the gantry secured. The left side Y1 is secured in the front and back. The right-hand side Y2 is unsecured. I just put the threaded inserts in, but no bolts yet, because next we're going to do this drive chain, and we'll secure Y2 later. All right, this is your drive chain. You have one on the left side and then one on top. So this kind of moves as you move your machine, and it protects all of your cables. You want to take just a little flathead screwdriver and you pop it in on this side over here, and you pop these open. And so then they'll open like that, and you do it all the way down, and all your cables will fit. Okay, so the drive chains are installed. A note, the one on the left-hand side has a smaller hole with a smaller bolt compared to the one that's on top. It's got the larger bolt with the larger hole. So make sure you pay attention to that. Okay, so now that I've got the drive chains installed on both sides, and I popped open all those little clips, next I'm going to do the cabling and the controller. So you see the cables are labeled Y1, etc. It's also, some of the times the labels will fall off in shipment, but you can still trace by hand, meaning your Z cord, your longest one, because it's got to go all the way across and down. So those would be your two longest. And then of course Y1 would be the left hand, Y2 would be the right hand. And then on the back of the controller box, they've cut out the labels so that you can see those in Z, so forth. So pretty straightforward. You have two choices to make. I chose to take the spindle cables and water lines and run those also down and around. On my first CNC, I had them just kind of hanging up here, but it just got a lot of clutter. This is a lot cleaner. And then on the front of the controller, you'll have those three cables that run in up to your pendant and plug in on the side over here. And then to install your spindle next, it's really just these 4 bolts, and this loosens up. You slide it down. You have this power cable and 2 water lines, and the power cable connects to this small, or it's attached to that small box that you can kind of see up underneath there. Then those 2 water lines that you have coming from your spindle go down to this red bucket. And inside of that, you'll see a water pump that the 2 lines hook to. You'll fill it up with distilled water, because distilled water doesn't have any bad stuff in it that could mess with your spindle. And I set it on this table so that it was as close to this spot here as possible, because they're not extremely long. And since I ran them all on that drive chain down and around onto this drive chain, I needed to stay as close as I could. The advantage of that, though, is you see it's just a lot cleaner look versus having all those cables just kind of hanging up. So the only thing I have right now is my vacuum hanging up from the ceiling. Okay, getting down to the very final stages. So with your pendant, when you first cut it on, go into your, let me go back to the home screen. Go to this little wrench info. Look at your model number and your firmware. Make sure your model number is correct. For the 644, the model number is 5600. When I first cut it on, it was like 4300, I think it was. And so the machine was confused. It wouldn't work right. So I changed the model number to 5600. And then I go to the controller and I say factory restore. That takes, 30 seconds. And it's been doing fine from that point. So it's just a known bug that they're working to fix with the model number.